I was really happy to see you in that Riz Ahmed series because you were really soon in the first episode. You came up.
Yeah. Well,
like, yes.
That's a good positioning of an episode. If you've got in a series, if you've got one episode, one scene in one thing, then you do want it to be within the first 10 minutes, which it was. Also, if they used the clip on Prime Video, used the clip on Instagram.
Come on.
So,
Let's go. Get this man's face out there.
Yeah, but also like, people were saying, "Oh man, look, great! You're in this new Riz Ahmed show." Saw the clip. Looking forward to watching it, but it's so misleading. Being in 100% of the clip which they use on Prime Video when you're in 0.4% of the entire series is a bit misleading, but wonderful experience.
Yeah,
and
is that like the thing? Like you've been doing this, so you started doing clips. You started doing Instagram clips. Maybe what? Pre-COVID, did you?
Well, yeah, 2 weeks before lockdown,
yeah,
I did my first comedy sketch on Instagram.
And I remember, we've known each other for a few years.
Yes.
I remember seeing one of those few ones and it went really well. Like,
yeah,
it was good and it got attention. Two things that you want.
Yeah. Well, that was because it was just a sort of project to give me something to do.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even a project. It was just making these things to pass the time.
Yeah.
And then it was when like a couple of comedians shared it, shared the videos, and a producer said like, messaged me saying like, "What are you up to at the moment?" And I was sort of like, well, I'd never answered that sort of question, and I thought, have I just become a comedian by mistake? But then more so, I was just thinking, okay, well, look, maybe this is just what you need to do. You just need to try something like this and then decide to then become a comedian.
Well, the irony is there's probably a load of a lot of comedians who have been doing live for years who probably at that point were like, oh, fuck, now I need to do this brand new overnight thing. Yeah.
From what I heard, I really wasn't involved in the industry at all, or like I didn't really know anyone that was doing it. Like I was interested in comedy, but I wasn't like I was following a few comedians, but it wasn't like I was actually like, okay, let's go to all this comedy all the time. But yeah, seemingly that's what they did. They started doing that because they couldn't do anything else.
Right, and it's reaching the people. We were just saying before press record, like how do you reach the quickest amount of people on there?
It makes it sound so simple that you can just do a bit of comedy on Instagram and put it on there, and people like it and laugh, and then share it to their friends, and then you become a famous comedian. But I found that I get so in my own head about making these videos.
Do you?
Yeah. To the point that if you look on my phone now and you see, like, scroll back to when I last made a sort of a character sketch, I'm doing about 150 takes of like 6 different lines that will make a 45-second video. Yeah. And that would take me 3 hours or something. And like, I don't know, I'm sure most of these people that do it and are really good and putting out all these stuff every day and they're getting millions of views, I'm sure they've got to just be doing it quickly. But for me, it takes like half a day to write it and then half a day to shoot it and half a day to edit it. And it's not sustainable.
Well, and you're not getting paid for it, right? You're getting an audience, but Instagram you don't make money from. Like TikTok you can get paid from. If you have that audience.
Can you? If you can, someone should have told me this.
But that's kind of becomes your like shop front window from like a career point of view. And I guess like that's a whole sort of bigger thing of like, okay, am I going to try and make money out of this? Is this better than the other way I was trying to make money? What other stuff were you doing at the time?
At the time, I was selling kebabs for a street food company.
Great.
In Shoreditch in Paddington, and then was put on furlough.
Kebab furlough?
Yeah, kebab furlough.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because I was employed, so it was odd employment, sure, but it was employment. And yeah, I mean, at that time in my life, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was brought into, I then got moved into a management role in the kebab place. And I was thinking, this is cool. This company's kind of cool. Like, could this be? Which just seems bizarre now when I like feel like I found the thing which I want to do with the rest of my life.
I've so been there where I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to become this. I think this is my new thing, guys. You tell yourself this is your new life. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, but does that come from from me looking back at it when I thought that on like a few occasions, I thought that comes from not having any other option.
Yeah,
I think.
Right.
When I first moved to Brighton, so this is when I was still in a band, and I was thinking, is this what I'm going to do forever? Because even with being in a band, I kind of fell into that because Jack, who we both know, Pullman, wanted a bassist, and I thought, I can play the bass.
Yeah.
But that's as far as it goes, really.
But then by joining that band, you like step into this new world. Yeah. You're like, okay, this can be it can definitely take up every day of the week. Yeah.
And it does, especially when you're, at that age, I was in my early 20s and I was really trying to, I think, be a really successful band.
Yeah.
And really want to be one of those bands who's like, playing Reading and Leeds every year and whatever.
Because you see people doing that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that looks sick. I'd love to do that. I'd love to pay rent.
That. Yeah, of course.
Little do you know at that time.
I know people that did become that band and still had to have other jobs and like.
Right. Has that put you in good stead for doing comedy?
I feel so lucky to have done that with music and gone for it and not had my heart broken, but like the sort of the dream was
fractured.
Yeah. So now I think a lot about why am I doing this and what do I want to get out of it?
Yeah.
What are my expectations and how realistic are they? And I suppose the conclusion to all of that is I just want to enjoy doing it.
Yeah. And keep on doing it. Like just keep on doing it, whatever, kind of make it sustainable.
Yeah, I'm saying this. I despise performing live comedy.
Yeah,
it's so. I get so nervous.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone that gets more nervous than me. I'm doing
like shit your pants nervous.
More like just like anxiety, like
physical.
Yeah, before I go on, I stare at my Garmin. My Garmin tells me my heart rate's 140 beats per minute, whatever it is, and I'm just breathing until I hear the music change, which means I need to go on. And then I go on stage, and I'm just like, "Who the fuck are you people? And why are you here to watch me?"
A couple of blank faces, like.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things when you walk. It's like, you're someone who I don't recognize. How many of you are there?
But people are going because they've seen you on clips, probably.
Yeah, probably.
And they've seen you do some shows and they've seen flyers of you doing your characters.
Yeah.
You're like, cool, this is a character comedian. That's what I want to see. It makes sense to me why people would.
It does, yeah.
There.
This,
I'd be there.
When we're here, like sort of breaking it down, sort of like, discussing it. Yeah, I get why people would be there. I'm just sort of explaining my headspace is just.
Yeah.
And it's just not.
It's like unreasonable. Like your brain is working against you.
Yeah. It's irrational, and even with like my whole thing is that when I go on stage, at the moment I'm doing lots of previews, so it's like an hour-long performance of stuff which is nowhere near ready, and it should be ready because Edinburgh starts next week. But my anxiety is I'm going to everything is going to completely derail during this thing. I'm going to forget everything. I'm going to have to stop loads. I'm going to pass out or something, which has nearly happened before on stage.
You get through it.
Yeah, you just get through it. And every time I do another one, and the previous one I just did get through it, I forget that and I have the same nerves.
Yeah.
But it's...
Did you get that before playing in bands? Did you get that before a gig?
Yeah, I think I did get a little bit nervous, but people often ask me, yeah, exactly. People often ask me like, oh, so your time in a band, like that must have like set you up nicely for being a comedian. And I always think that actually is so different, especially playing bass in a band which is very loud music with very loud distorted guitars. You're pretty much completely hidden as a bassist. And then I go on to do comedy.
And you have the choice to have fun with it if you want.
Of course,
but if you don't put yourself out front, no one's going to be like questioning that as a bassist. Yeah,
exactly. And also you can mess up. And as a very mediocre bassist, I did quite a lot. Whereas with these character sketches that I'm doing on stage now, you've got one person who's, most of the characters have got like a kind of intense motive that might be like dealing with something or something about them is, there's an intensity, and that means that the performance requires intensity, and that means that the script and the dialogue has to be solid and consistent. So if I stop talking, suddenly the momentum and the intensity is gone. So there's nothing to hide behind with this style of comedy performance.
That's fascinating, isn't it? Do you feel like, have you taken a lot of those characters from, I presume, like, right, people who you've met?
Yeah.
Got to be some people from like music environments.
Yeah.
At the pub.
Yeah.
You do pub guys very well.
Yeah. That's where most of the work I've done has been in pubs. Last year I did this character, which was a bartender, which is more a bartender that I've been served by, which is just the guy that's, he believes he not only knows everything about pubs, but knows everything about everything. and is in the very short time that he's got with you, he's dedicated to showing you that.
He will imply it. He'll let you know.
Unfortunately, the character is often like misogynistic, and I sort of had this in my show, like, or just when anyone goes up to the bar and says like, you know, can I have a pale ale? And then his response is, which one? We've got IPAs, ABA, keg beer, cask beer, what sort of... And I've just had enough interactions with people like this to want to expose them to the world.
And there's that cumulative effect where you meet so many different people like that you maybe like take the best bits or the worst bits.
Them. Definitely. Like, again, like I've got this document which is like a list of every single sketch, even just idea that I've come up with since taking a show to Edinburgh Fringe. And some of them are just like one sentence that I've heard from someone on a bus. I had a really good one today. What was it? I can't remember.
You got a notes app for it?
Yeah. But then that's now like 5 separate notes apps, and also then I've got this master document that I call the Comedy Hub, where I put them all in, and actually it's now just too messy. And I think sometimes just like if you've got an idea, just write a whole sketch and then perform it as quickly as possible because
get it out there.
Yeah.
Is there an element of like not letting yourself get in the way of it? I guess it's a bit like songwriting, like, you know, just trying to like not think too much about it, which is really easy to say.
Yeah.
A fucking different beast to actually try and do, and just
ultimately what you're doing is you're writing something that's a bit of fun. And for me, a bit of fun comes from feeling like you're having a bit of fun.
Yeah. And not taking it too seriously.
Yeah. Which is mad to think when you're doing something like Edinburgh Fringe, when you're paying, you're paying thousands and thousands of pounds to put on a show there with the hope of making it back, if not some of it back. And like, that is not a fun concept. That's a stressful, anxiety-inducing concept. So then you're going on to write a thing about like a funny bit about a bus driver talking to someone, and you're thinking, I need to get this done by a work in progress show I've got coming up on Tuesday. I mean, it's not a fun experience. Sometimes
you've got to lie to yourself. You basically have to lie, separate those things. Have like a cabinet brain. Yeah. You're like, okay, I'm not obviously going to be thinking about what I'm putting on the line to be here.
Yeah.
And then but I imagine that's fucking hard. Like,
I think so, especially when, this year, like the tricky second album thing, you got your whole life to write your first album, and then your second album you have to write within 6 months. Same thing. In the first Edinburgh show, there were sketches that were from 5 years ago that I wrote in lockdown when I was first getting into comedy. Great. Not very free in the sense of being in lockdown, but like you're free because you've got no reason to be. There's no reason.
And you allow good ideas to come to you.
Yeah.
It's not George Harrison, is it? It's John Lennon, where he said about like the antenna. You kind of got your antenna up and you kind of receive those little lines that you hear on the bus. Yeah. If you've got 5-6 years to do that, that's not easier, but it's more, just obviously more time to allow yourself more information than
exactly
1 year or something.
Yeah. The antenna thing is that it's openness. If you're worrying about other things, then the antenna's not doing its job. And I suppose it's a weird combination of that openness and that idea generation, while also being quite like strict with and like measured and organized with how you write the stuff. I mean, I work with some writers on this show who are really organized writers, and they see an idea that if this is going to make sense to an audience, then it needs to follow a certain structure, and this person needs to have a motive. Whereas I'm sort of like, that guy just said something to that traffic warden in a funny voice, and I think that's quite funny, so I would like to pretend to be him.
Big time.
And that's as far as it goes.
And like that can be, someone like snorts in their sleep. That's the funny thing. Yeah. It doesn't require loads of thought, but it's like, can be the biggest laugh.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a really lovely way to think about it, when I've just been in the Pret and London Bridge and sort of trying to like work out how this character is going to make sense over an hour. And ultimately, comedy is laughing at something which is fun, usually silly, like you're saying, someone snorting in their sleep. And I can forget that sometimes, but
Yeah.
that's what people want, I think.
So have you got quite, you say it's still quite like loose in your writing of it, but have you had to make discipline about the way you do it now, thinking of it as a job? Has that changed last few years?
Yeah, it has changed an awful lot, because I've sort of been quite fortunate over the last year or so that I've done like acting work and had some acting jobs that have been able to pay me to live, which is the dream.
That's sick. That's fucking wicked.
It is. It's great. And I find myself in this odd like position now where I see that as pressure. It's like that money which I've been paid from a couple of acting jobs is now money that I'm choosing to invest in it being my job, which means, you know, I'm paying for the things which I would do normally with that money, but the time is also what I paid for. Mm-hmm. And I see that as pressure. So then at the end, I've struggled with over the last few years, like there's been moments when I've had this, and it comes in and out because it's the way that acting and comedy work goes. And I found it really tricky. At the end of the day, if I've not been able to do the work I wanted to do, I'd feel really guilty and really sort of
comedy writing work.
Yeah.
So exactly. If you do an acting gig or like something like an advert or something, you do Paddy Power adverts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I love seeing you in them. Yeah, like fucking yes, we're on TV. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So if you've done a day of that and you're obviously probably knackered from a day of shooting, and you come back, will you be disappointed in yourself that you haven't written some comedy that day? Yeah,
no. Well, if I'm shooting on a day, I'll dedicate that day to that. What I mean is for example, that will come along, and then that will mean, okay, now I've got this time to work on something that's gonna develop or like bolster my career. So that at this moment in time is performing live comedy.
Yeah,
it's all like writing an Edinburgh show. So if I've, you know, it takes about usually from January to August when I do this. And if in like February, I kind of want to be working on it every day from 9 to 5, just like a job, because that's what I've sort of invested in. But it's tricky because it's different to go into a warehouse to pack boxes and then you're done. And because for me, the thing I find really tricky is sort of the self-motivated work and creative work I'm not getting paid for this comedy writing. It's not tangible what I'm actually aiming for. It's quite lonely. It's in the sense that like you're doing it by yourself for ages, and also there's very little feedback from people until you perform on stage. But then that's scary. So yeah, I've actually, because of this new show I've got is about my. I originally said it was 26 jobs, but I think it's up north of 30 part-time jobs.
And this is the place to come.
I know, yeah.
And when we messaged about it, it was like, why haven't we talked about it? Yeah.
I know, yeah.
It's a good idea. And I feel like we are part of the generation that's quite like it's a really relatable thing.
Yeah,
I think loads of people our age, kind of most ages now, like if there's not one salary job they're in, it is a fucking part-time life.
Yeah, absolutely. Most people I know.
Zero contract. Vibes.
Yeah. Which is actually what I'm sort of after that nowadays, because I like to choose the time that I have off.
Right.
But
and that idea came out of where did it come from? So you're doing
honestly,
the character stuff.
I was just getting ready for this new show, and let's just start writing some sketches, and they pretty much all were in the workplace or a workplace that I've worked in.
They're quite conducive, especially the really kind of pernickety. I mean, job's worth is one word to say it.
Yeah. I mean, you do just meet, or if you've had as many jobs as I've had, you do just meet so many people. Yeah. And I've always just like the job's worth, or the person who's like controlling and wants to show you that they're the best one is like, we kind of all know this person, but or the person that the work is their life. We know these people, and I just love these people so much. Like I've had
hate them.
Well, yeah, exactly. But yeah, but that to me, weirdly, I don't know. Personally, that to me is a form of like loving them. Like I used to work in. I won't say too many specifics, so you probably trace them back pretty swiftly. But I've worked in a job where the person really didn't like the way I did that job, and she made that very like clear publicly within this place of work, and. Just in the staff room, she was slagging me off while I was in there, and she didn't realise. And
she didn't realise you were there.
Yeah, and then she said she realised in there, and then she said, well, she'd just been slagging me off saying he's useless, he's rubbish, he's just too laid back, and he's just, yeah. And then she said, and Rory, she realised in and said, oh, yeah, and I would say that to your face. And then she went, I suppose I just have said it to your face, haven't I?
That's funny. I would think you've got the charm, though. I think you're a charming dude.
Yeah.
You've got like a youthful, bounceful energy.
Yeah.
And we need that. I mean, I love that. It's good. You need those people around.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I feel like
I thought so as well, but she disagreed. No, but she did like me, just didn't like the way I worked.
Are you like were you a piss taker?
No, I think the opposite. I think of a teacher's pet. Yeah, I really like working. I really like the idea of doing a good job and sort of getting things done properly. I think I'm the job's worth, actually.
Job's worth. Will you try hard but actually not do a very good job?
I think my thing was I did more than was necessary because I wanted to be the one that was really good at doing the job. To the point, like working at a pub in Brighton, I insisted that I would get training from the brewery so that I could professionally pour a pint of ale and like manage a cellar. And I'm happy.
What everything tastes like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, someone's going to try it, and that was, of course, me.
I got in trouble up here at the Miller when I worked behind the bar because I was doing table service. So I was trying to get out and about, trying to chat to people. You know what I mean?
Wait, it's a pub.
It is a pub, but I just wanted to do table service, just to get out from behind the bar, really.
Okay.
And I'd always get in trouble for it. I got reprimanded a couple of times for it in that office over there.
Well, yeah, it's a deeply untraditional method of service in a pub.
Be out there, get out there.
But how did the punters respond to that?
They loved it. Of course they loved it. Yeah. We'd do like, we'd do like it'd be like a group effort thing. I'd bring over the food and I'd be like, does anyone need anything else?
That's normal with food.
I'd make it like a restaurant vibes.
Okay, yeah.
But they didn't like it. My bosses here didn't like it. Jess, who you saw upstairs, did not like it.
What did they say? What did they not like?
They just criticised me.
Said it's not that sort of place.
Not that sort of place. Yeah, the DJ, when there was a DJ that was getting paid probably like 150, 200 quid.
Yeah.
For DJing to about 10 people.
Okay.
I'd get out onto the dance floor, try and get people up from their seats.
You said it was table service. This is more like there's
two
the ringleader in the circus.
I was trying to be a ringleader
for a pub. Were you successful with getting people? Because your aim is to get the atmosphere going, right?
It's about I was a vibes master, atmosphere guy. Yeah. But it worked. I didn't get paid any more for it, and I got in trouble for it. But people don't appreciate you sometimes. Doing like this show must have come from like somewhere where you're like, okay, I've worked so many jobs, but is there another level of that, like where you've been a particular type of character in those places, or you've had, there's been like a common thread? Like, where is the common thread?
They're all like a person that has a character trait or a vibe that I just quite like. Something about it I quite like. That person is of someone I've worked with, or someone I've served in a place, or a version of me in a place, or a sort of combination of like a sort of a trope of someone that
they're endearing. It's like endearing tropes.
Yeah, I think so. At times, I mean, I've got
fallible tropes.
Yeah, there's a hungover waiter, which is largely based on me, but also like also based on, when you go into quite a trendy restaurant or like a burger place or something like that, and then the waiter sits down at your table. And then
it's the side sit.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's really like familiar, sort of like how you guys doing? You're good. Almost like I'm on you're my sort of people. Like, I'm finding I can relax here. Like, it's funny and it's kind of cringe, but how lovely. Better that than the guy that tells you you're an idiot for trying to order a pale ale, not knowing the exact ABV or like where it came from, what brewery it is.
Yeah. So people come out of the show and be like, I know that person.
People sort of said from the last one, like, you can hate the character and also love them because you recognize the thing which you find problematic, but it's fun to see them on stage, kind of in a less threatening way, I guess.
I suppose in my experience there, you'll see people like that and you'll be like, is anyone else seeing this?
Yeah.
Am I alone? Am I just noticing that guy's or person's being like a bit fucking weird and it's kind of funny but kind of stupid?
Yeah.
Maybe there's something about seeing that on stage that is like validating.
Absolutely.
Like, yes, that fucking person.
Yeah, that is very much my intention, both for the audience's interest and my own, because a lot of this is me getting it off my chest. Like you say, is that when people do that, that can't be normal. So then it's sort of like, here's a sort of a showcase of things which I don't think are normal. I'm asking you whether or not you agree with, have you seen it or not, to validate my own qualms with these people.
And what's the show called?
It's called Thank You for the Opportunity. And it's called Rory Marshall, Thank You for the Opportunity, live at the Pleasance Courtyard every day from next week until the end of August, something like that. Godspeed.
I hope you have a good time.
Thanks, man.
Are you going to be able to like, what, do you go out on the beers afterwards? You can't do that for a month.
Yes, I can and I will. I don't have any before, never before, always after. Never. No, this is I wrote this down the other day. When it comes to beers in Edinburgh Fringe, never before the show, sometimes during, always after.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And it goes on until late, doesn't it? The licenses at the bars, it's like 3 a.m. or something ridiculous.
Yeah, there's one which is open till 5, and it's weird how your body clock manages to like extend to that time.
Find you there.
Find me there.
Got one last question, Rory, and thank you for the time. Appreciate you coming down.
Thanks for having me.
I'm a big fan of the work gaff, the work fuck up. I did some labouring and like nearly chopped off my finger, smashed a lot of glasses up here. Ooh. So I have just generally in most places I've worked, feel like I've made like a lot of like just like screwed the pooch, pissed somebody off. Oh yeah. You know, I feel like this is good fertile ground for storytelling. I feel like most people, embarrassment I find is a fantastic.
Yeah. Of embarrassment, gaffes, mess ups. There is. I mean, there's one quite sinister one actually, which we're all.
I mean, we're pretty loose here. I mean, ever cried at work?
Ever cried at work? Yeah. Yeah. I worked at this call center, charity call center, with Jack Kay actually from the Magic Gang. So we when I first moved to Brighton, we sat in this call center next to each other every day, and it was one of those call centers that was probably in the news for its like immoral practice, where you'd call up usually pretty bloody vulnerable people and ask them for their money, and they're usually already giving money. And unfortunately, I was on a Marie Curie trial, which is end of life care, and you just have to call these people over and over again, and they've already given to Marie Curie. Probably 75% of them have a real reason to donate to Marie Curie because they've lost someone, and they've appreciated the work of Marie Curie. And I called up this elderly woman, and I said, "Hi, I'm from this call center and we're representing Marie Curie today. I just want to ask you what your reasons were for donating." And she burst into tears and said, she said she'd had her first good week since losing her husband, and I just reminded her of that.
Not your fault. I'm reaching out in solidarity here.
Thank you.
Not your fault.
Not my fault. And the worst thing is the company policy requires you to continue with the questioning. I didn't continue.
Yeah, because good. You have ethics. You have morals.
Yeah. Unlike these sort of like factories of...
But you know your boss would have fucking twisted that, just turned the screw there.
Yeah.
You know that most people who I
was disciplined for that. You get taken in for a review and told what you should have done differently. I said, I know exactly what I should have done differently. According to company policy, but like...
Bastards.
Yeah. Oh, there was plenty of that at that place.
This is why we got to do creative stuff.
Yeah.
We got to put good stuff out in the world.
Yeah, I hope so. Whether or not my comedy show would cheer up someone in that position, I don't know.
You were smashing it. You put yourself down. You're doing so well. Man. Every time I see you on the feed, I'm like, yes, come on, Rory. I love it.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And good luck for the Edinburgh show.
Thank you.
You're going to kill it. You know you are.
I hope so. It's a lot of work to do in the next week.
You got to finish it.
I've got to write an hour of comedy.
Write it.
But yeah, it's all good fun. I can't wait to get up there. Once you're up there, once you need to start next Wednesday, which I do, you just start next Wednesday and you get it done.
Fear is a good reason to do something, or a good fuel.
Yeah. Fear is what you need for having a bit of laugh on stage doing comedy.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Giles. Thank you so much.
So that was Rory Marshall here on 101 Part-Time Jobs. His show, Thank You for the Opportunity, is up at Edinburgh Fringe starting tomorrow, going every day till the end of the month. So go and see that if you're in Edinburgh. Tomorrow, we've got Freddie Meredith, who's been doing some clips with. So looking forward to that. If you're new to 101, recent episodes include Stuart Lee, Maisie Adam, and Emma Doran. And we've always got more coming up. We put out basically 2 episodes a week with artists, musicians, comics, writers, loving it. So if you'd like to stay up to date with it, click subscribe. Cheers.